If you've ever wanted to learn more about a doctor, you may have turned to sites like Yelp or Health Grades for ratings, or maybe you've looked up a physician on the Medical Board of California's site. But an I-Team investigation finds the state site is both difficult to navigate and hard to interpret for the average patient. Carolyn Johnson explains how one woman says her trust was betrayed.
Sarah Al-Habib worked in billing at a doctor's office in 2007 when she decided to see that doctor herself as a patient. What followed eventually led to sanctions by the state medical board, but she felt it was too little, too late. And now she's worried other women could be in danger.
He just comes to me and he starts unbuttoning my shirt.
Sarah had asked for an appointment at the medical office where she worked because she felt ill and lightheaded, but she was quickly confused by Dr. Zaher Azawi's behavior in the exam room.
And he puts his arm around, basically like in a hugging position, and he starts trying to unclasp my bra.
Dr. Azawi was a respected member of the Muslim community and friends with Sarah's father. They all attended this mosque in Pomona, but everything about the examination seemed wrong.
At that point, it was just kind of like I was under his control and I just had to listen to him, especially because his tone of voice, his behavior, his mannerisms.
She says it took her more than a year to fully process what had happened, and only after a colleague shared a similar story with her.
She told me that he pulled her into the office, locked the door, started kissing her.
5 years after her incident, Sarah reached out to the Medical Board of California to detail her experience with Dr. Zaher Azawi. 7 other women from Azawi's office had similar experiences detailed in this accusation by the board. But from the time she complained to the medical board until it reached its decision, more than 3 years had passed. The board ultimately cited multiple causes of discipline in Sarah's case, from commission of an act of sexual abuse or misconduct to repeated negligent acts.
His punishment, 5 years probation, requiring, among other things, classes in ethics and professional boundaries, a psychiatric evaluation, psychotherapy, and the presence of a chaperone for patient exams. Did you think what they were proposing was enough?
No, absolutely not.
What did you want to see happen?
I wanted to see him, his license to be revoked. The way that he's manipulative and using his power, then why allow him to continue working?
The medical board takes in 10,000 complaints every single year, and 4% of them end up with discipline.
Eric Andrus started the nonprofit Patient Safety League after his sister died because of what he says was a medical error. He soon learned just how difficult it is to find information about doctors.
The medical board website, which they like to brag about, they have a new app, for your iPhone now too. But it's very difficult for consumers to use.
We found searching cumbersome. Take Dr. Azawi. When you click on the tab that says more detail, this page appears. There's a small number 1 after administrative disciplinary actions, which reveals a very limited description of the doctor's probation. Only when you scroll down do you see public documents. And there, after decision, is the number 2 in parentheses. You need to click on that to reveal the legal documents. Remarkably, there is no way of knowing if a doctor is under investigation. And remember, in Sarah's case, that investigation itself took more than 2 years.
Even in the worst cases of sexual misconduct, they continue to let them practice medicine. It's not like teachers or police who are almost instantly pulled off the job.
We asked the medical board about this. Why are doctors treated differently than teachers or law enforcement? Turns out complaints against doctors fall under the State Department of Consumer Affairs. And the medical board told us, pursuant to these sections, complaints and investigations are confidential until such time an accusation is filed.
Are you worried there are other victims?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Which is why Sarah recently shared her story publicly on Facebook, wanting to sound the alarm in the Muslim community and beyond, knowing women may not be as likely to confront a man in a position of power. We've reached out multiple times to Dr. Azawi and his attorney by phone and email, giving them the chance to speak, but they have not replied. Dr. Azawi hung up on our producer. But in his request to have his probation terminated, Dr. Azawi acknowledged he committed unprofessional conduct with some instances of touching and hugging that did not reflect good judgment, although he says his intentions were good. The board denied his request, noting in part that the professional references he provided were written by doctors who were his subordinates.
I said I wanted to share a few thoughts.
But 12 years later, Sarah is not finished recounting what happened during that exam that left her feeling traumatized, ashamed, and humiliated until she found her voice.
I'm still not satisfied. because I think that more repercussions should have been made.
If you would like to see if your doctor has any disciplinary actions, we've posted the links to both the medical board website and the one created by patient advocate Eric Andrist on our site, nbcla.com.